Yeah.
That's the only thing that sucks about me not being.
Yeah, since you left, we upgraded.
Yeah, except you downgraded harder than you upgraded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shit, dude. If I would have known we could have started buying that shit up.
I mean, we got Coke, we got cream soda, Coke Zero, we got Monsters, we got Red Bull, we have Sprite.
The fuck?
We have white chocolate and good chocolate.
White chocolate and good chocolate. Well, you're already buying chocolate.
Yeah.
That's fine. But everything else. So where did you go down to? So OBS has crashed or what? Where does it say?
Yeah, no, it came with a pop-up in Windows.
Oh, it's still good though. Mostly. We have a 50% drop frame rate. A little bit there. Mm-hmm. It dropped hard. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big deal. I don't think. Maybe temporarily, but we're still good. Nobody's watching us anyway, but it'll all be here. It'll all be on the VOD, even every single shitty blip.
Well, that's the thing. OBS still saves it.
Well, no, it caches it.
Yeah.
But only for like 15 seconds or whatever the delay is.
It actually caches it quite a lot.
Does it?
Yeah, the last time we had interruptions, or when I had interruptions, for like a minute or two, it saved all that. And then whenever I hit stop, it kept going because you could see at the bottom the timer kept ticking down because it was still streaming the rest of it.
Oh, nice.
So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, well, I knew it cached it because it takes up a large part of RAM to cache everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Okay, so next story.
Somehow I don't think that's true. One of these like targeted ads.
Drifting a $200 billion industry.
All right, and as a continuing coverage for the stories we've been covering for Rohingya and the Myanmar people, UN report on Rohingyan hunger is shelved at Myanmar's request. Oh, that's spooky.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad. The United Nations Food Aid Agency withdrew a critical report revealing desperate hunger among the persecuted Rohingya population after the Myanmar government demanded it be taken down, The Guardian has learned.
Why is the UN
This is real
to
news.
the country that's causing this problem?
Well, this is what I said about this is why we need America, because if they had a strategic resource, we would have went in there and we would have saved them with about 1,000
Freedom
about 1,000 freedom units a second coming from our super-powered freedom planes. Yeah, we would have
dropped a couple tons of freedom.
Yeah, we would have freedomed them then. Yeah, they would have been free. What was left of them? But yeah. It's terrible, but so true. The July assessment by the World Food Program, Grammy, fucking the E because they're fucking European, warned that more than 80,000 children under the age of 5 living in majority Muslim areas were wasting, a potentially fatal condition of rapid weight loss.
That's terrible.
Which is
just imagine. All
those
children's death on the hands of the Myanmar government because they won't allow aid in, because they want to kill all of these Muslims.
Ethnic cleansing.
I mean, yes. It's an ethnic cleansing by a Buddhist nation,
which I still laugh at that idea.
I don't think they understand their own religion.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like any, like we said, extremist or whatever. They'll go to a link, and people are pushed too far. As I brought this up to somebody, and they're like, "Well, dude, those people were some of those people were being really bad to them, and they were, and they got tired. And all the biggest deal is that." The Myanmar people are just they got tired of it and they get fed up and this is what's happened because of it.
That's the thing. The
Rohingyan people were being not the people but the terrorists and stuff were being.
I mean, the Rohingyan people have been there for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Myanmar doesn't consider the Rohingyan people Myanmar citizens, they consider them fucking what's the word? Not Burmese. Bangladesh. They consider them Bangladesh, and Bangladesh considers them Myanmar's people. Because neither country wants them, but the Rohingya are primarily in Myanmar.
Interesting.
This is an ethnic cleansing. And That's the thing. There's always radicals in any, population, and it's more of a understanding where these radicals come from, because a lot of the time it comes from, oppression. When you have a government that won't acknowledge your people, that won't acknowledge that you exist as citizens of the nation, that refuse to provide you aid or funding or housing, or give you the ability or the rights to do so.
It's just warm. Super warm. I made a terribly great decision. Anyway,
you get terrorists out of that because that's the only outcourse they think they can do for change.
I mean, this is my whole deal on terrorism. I think I've said this to you plenty of times. Terrorism as an idea or as a thing will never cease to exist. As long as there's somebody somewhere that's mad to the point of where they want to fight, and, they will still be terrorists. I mean, even revolutionaries a lot are basically terrorists at this point. Anything that you do that incites terror for political, what is it? The actual definition of terrorism is
inciting political. Inciting terror against the citizens for a political motive.
Yeah. No, it's not against citizens. It's against anyone for a political motive or political gain or whatever. However,
let's pull it up.
I love terrorism.
Just define terrorism.
Terrorism definition. Terrorism in America. An awful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. There you go. What's funny about terrorism is that technically some of the governments commit terrorism.
Oh, yeah.
Like the whole Spanish people, the whole using the police for it. That's terrorism.
Yeah, in a sense.
I mean, in the direct...
Well, that's the thing. It says unlawful use of violence.
Well,
the Spanish police going in are the law, and it is lawful. I
guess that's
because they are restoring peace. So
I guess that's a good point.
They are the law. I can understand from the Catalonian perspective, they may consider the Spanish interference possibly terrorism.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
even though even the Catalonians would have to.
But see, at that point, whose law does it go under?
Spain's.
No, but I mean, at that point, who is to say what is and isn't lawful?
Spain. I may not like Spain for doing this. I may not like them for cracking down so heavily on this, but unfortunately, I guess with how their constitution is written, they are within their rights and abilities to defend their sovereignty against a seditious government attempting to undermine them.
Yeah, but
I don't like it, but it's law.
It's like the American Constitution is the same thing.
Yeah, I mean the American Constitution requires us to keep the country together.
Yeah.
That's why no state can declare independence without it going through Congress.
Yeah.
Including Texas.
And Congress would never approve anybody.
No, Congress would never approve of any state leaving.
Except for maybe Michigan. Nobody cares about Michigan.
No, they should just freaking get Mississippi out of here. Actually, no, we need Mississippi to compare everything else against. Because Mississippi is the worst state in the union.
Is it?
Yeah, it consistently comes in as the lowest rated in everything. Highest in teen pregnancies, highest in like STDs and drug use and such. Lowest in test scores and shit.
Yeah, I need to go to Mississippi.
Yeah,
I need to make America great again.
It's a shithole.
I need to make America great again by spreading my seed.
I mean, that's why there's the meme. At least we're not Mississippi.
I didn't realize there was a meme like that.
There's a meme.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a meme. Everybody, the fuck if I know. Anyway, that was old or whatever it was. I was trying to do intro music. Anyway, there we go.
Yeah, the 6-page document.
The 6-page document, which was reported on the time, was a place with a statement saying Myanmar and WFP were collaborating on a revised version. That's not okay. That's
I hope that revised version means that the Myanmar government's going to allow aid to be released.
Information control. That's not okay. Anyway, the process would involve representatives from various ministries and will respond to the need for a common approach that is in line with WFP's future cooperation with the government. The report should not be cited in any way, the statement added. Weird. However, WFP's executive director, David Beasley, said in an emailed statement to The Guardian later on Tuesday that the agency would republish the report. The assessment should not have been removed, and I have directed that it be republished immediately in its original form, Beasley said. Put simply, the World Food Program stands firmly behind the findings of the report.
So what do we think? Do we think that he himself ordered the report to be pulled? Or somebody just like below him was doing it to try and save face with the Myanmar government? Or is he just trying to save face?
I would say follow the money. Somebody got paid off for this, for sure. They didn't just do it to do it. Somebody got money for this. So follow the money. See where it leads. And that's whenever I would launch an investigation into something like that. And just try to like grill people. So who did you pay at the WFP to
try to get this
report?
Yeah. Well, clearly it didn't. It's not work. It didn't work because they're going to
probably
publish
because the Guardian got wind of it, and then they did what newspapers do. They do the annoying thing. It's like, so about that report. What report? Oh, the one that existed. What are you talking about? This one? Shit. We officially come out and say that we're going to republish the report. That was a terrible move. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Who knows? I don't know these people personally, so I get to say. But from all of the crooked shit I've seen go on in the world, I'm just going to expect the worst. That's the way I live life. Usually turns out to be right. It sucks, but it is what it is. He said that the level of food the level of food of Rakhine Sedate had likely since changed for the worse and called for authorities to allow free and unhindered access to aid deliveries.
Well, good. At least he's calling for that.
Yep. The revelation of the report was spiked will add to a series of recent criticisms that UN did not push the government hard enough for the rights of 1.1 million Rohingya in Myanmar or sound the alarm on their spiraling.
Which I agree with that. The UN should have come out. They should have sent in peacekeepers and done their job and kept the peace.
They should have done the UN thing. They want to be the one world government. Go for it.
Step up.
Do something. That's it. The issue exploded on the 25th of August when Rohingya insurgents attacked security forces, who responded with a severe counteroffensive. More than 500,000 Rohingya have since fled to neighboring Bangladesh, many alleging that the army conducted mass killings and rapes, claims the government denies.
Of course they deny, but evidence cannot be refuted.
Is there evidence of it?
Yeah, there are pictures of villages burned down and just bodies.
Yeah.
It's not.
That's pretty bad.
Doesn't.
The UN's most senior official in the country will leave at the end of the month amid allegations she suppressed another report, a damning consultation of the UN strategy and also an attempted to shut down public advocacy of Rohingya suffering. She leaves in the middle of the current crisis, the worst in decades, while a replacement has not been publicly announced. Asked why the July study on Rakhine State was removed, WFP said earlier that it was withdrawn from the website following a request by the government to conduct a joint review. So there you go. That's your reasoning. There's the report. Where's
the report?
This whole thing.
Yeah. Let's see, is there anything of solid value in it real quickly? Let's see. Overall situation. The Mangla district is among the most vulnerable in chronically food insecure areas of Myanmar. An assessment further confirmed a further deterioration of food security. About 2/3 of households could not meet an adequate diet, and 28% of them had a poor food intake the week prior to the survey. With respect to previous surveys, an increase was registered in diet inadequacies from 43 to 62%, and households with poor food consumption from 9% to 30%. So clearly, Myanmar is doing everything in its power to slowly and systematically kill these people in a most inhumane way possible. This is very disturbing to read. Let's see. The majority of the population has extremely low wages, almost no employment possibilities, and has difficulty getting to food. Nearly 90% of households in the area were worried about not having enough food. Reduced size and number of meals, 79 and 60% respectively. And consumed non-preferred foods, 90%. Households were employing crisis and emergency type coping strategies such as selling productive assets, consuming seed stocks, pawning land, begging for food, and reducing non-food expenditures such as education or health. Households who made new debts to buy food in 3 months prior to the interview significantly increased from 20% to 60% in March over a 1-year span. So, I mean, this is quite a damning survey showing how prices have increased on food, debt has increased, work is down for these particular people, poverty and food access is on the rise incredibly, along with inability for proper drinking water, housing, shelter. I mean, this is sounding like a country that got hit by a devastating storm, and all the infrastructure has been destroyed.
The devastating storm was people this time.
Yes, sadly enough, it was the Myanmar government. Devastating condition. Okay, moving on to something a bit lighter. Do you want to cover this one?
Nope.
But it's your Japanese zoo.
Let me add the other ones in real quick and I'll cover it.
Okay.
I'll cover 2 in a row, you cover 2 in a row, you cover.
Hey, this is, Japan.
Hey man,
the land of your
just
people.
Because it's Japan, the land of my people,
and anime-loving penguin
doesn't mean that you can play my heart and heartstrings like that, okay?
I will at some point during.
No, you won't. Shh. Shut your ass up. Alright. Alrighty then. Japanese zoo mourns anime-loving celebrity penguin. My neighbor. Grape and Hululu, a match made in heaven, which is Hululu's character from whatever anime that is that I've never seen. This is Grape Coon, as the world knows him. A celebrity penguin, which made international headlines after forming an attachment to a cardboard cutout in a Japanese zoo, has died at the age of 21. Sounds like my life. Alright, so to go over this here, this penguin obviously chose the real life. He liked 2D waifus over 3D waifus. He did not reproduce because he liked the cardboard cutout. And any time that he was moved, the cardboard cutout had to be moved to him. The zoo originally wanted to take it down, but they left it up.
Well, he was scorned by his mate of over a decade.
He was what?
His mate of over a decade, pushed him away. I guess rejected him, essentially.
Weird.
Rejection! And then he picks up the cardboard cutout on the rebound.
Yeah, and he just loved the cardboard cutout to death. Tobu Zoo in Japan's central Saitama Prefecture. Wabash! Anyway, announced Grape's death through its Twitter account, saying that the cause of death was unknown, but according to Newswalker, he would have been around 80 years old in human years. Grape, the Humboldt penguin, became an online star. That's an online star in May after seemingly falling in love with the picture of Hululu, an anthropomorphic penguin character from the Japanese anime series Kimono Friends. After it was placed in his enclosure, the Rocket News website reports. He is thought to have become fixated on the cutout after being jilted by a female penguin called Midori, which is the sake name, but which had been his mate for a decade. The cutout was originally placed in the penguin enclosure as part of a tie-in promotion with Kimono Friends, which they put a bunch of other things in other parts of the zoo. Grape spent long hours staring at Hulu and refusing to leave her side, and so the staff decided to leave the cutout in the penguin's enclosure, long after the promotion ended. Sadly, his death comes a month before the zoo's Grape Festival, a series of events spanning 2 weeks based around the celebrity penguin. That does suck. HuffPost Japan notes... Oh my god, there's a Huffington Post Japan. Notes that condolence messages have already been received from Kimono Friends and Shikuta Ikuko, the voice artist who plays Hulu in the series. Best wishes from my heart to Little Grape. Miss Ikuko wrote on Twitter. Social media is already filling with memes mourning his death. Let's go home, Grape-kun. This is one simple tribute. That's it. Yeah, man. There you go, Grape-kun. That's my boy. It's the weebs, man. He lived the dream.
Well, he's Japanese. So.
He lived the dream. 2D waifus are better than 3D waifus. But remember, man, too many waifus will,
but what about in VR?
Will ruin your life.
They're in 3D.
I need them in 3D VR, though.
The period of time.
Anyway. What is this? Time?
Yeah, time.
No, I mean, like, what is this? I assume you can't have 20,000 tabs open because your computer will die?
Yeah, kinda. It doesn't have the RAM, man. I get one with enough RAM. But
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I could maybe mod this thing, stick more RAM in it, or bigger stick RAM.
Just download more RAM for it, it'll be fine. Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of USBs.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was looking at. I'm sitting there right click, and I was like making sure I wasn't just drunk already, and then
Okay,
I was seeing what I was seeing.
Let me just get to these. Okay. The White House is using John Kelly's dead son to criticize Obama. So roll the video.
I'm called the parents and the families, because I have done that traditionally. I felt very, very badly about that. I always feel badly. It's the toughest calls I have to make are the calls where this happens. Soldiers are killed. It's a very difficult thing. Now it gets to a point where you make 4 or 5 of them in one day is a very, very tough day. For me, that's by far the toughest. So the traditional way, if you look at President Obama and other presidents, most of them didn't make calls. A lot of them didn't make calls. I like to call when it's appropriate, when I think I'm able to do it. They have made the ultimate sacrifice. So generally, I would say that I like to call. I'm going to be calling them. I want a little time to pass. I'm going to be calling them.
Earlier you said that President Obama never called the families of fallen soldiers. How can you make that claim?
I don't know if he did. No. I was told that he didn't often, and a lot of presidents.
Yeah, damn it, does never work on some things. I just love this, it's like, those past presidents, they never really called, any of the
apparently
soldiers.
President Obama attended a lot of them or something like that.
No, President Obama called and wrote letters and attended. And he did everything the president normally does in this kind of situation. And then Trump immediately backpedaled. It's like, Mr. Trump.
No, I never said that.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know whether he did or didn't make calls. I'm just saying I don't think he made calls, but I'm not saying that he did or didn't make calls because I don't really know, but he probably didn't.
Don't. They write letters. I do. Excuse me, Peter. I do a combination of both.
Peter.
This is just called him up with a. Hey,
How you doing?
Hey, Peter.
How you doing?
Sometimes it's a very difficult thing to do, but I do a combination of both. President Obama,
Thank you.
I think probably
Mr.
did
Chapo.
sometimes, and maybe sometimes he didn't. I don't know. That's what I was told. All I can do is ask my generals. Other presidents did not call. They'd write letters, and some presidents didn't do anything. But I like the combination of. I like when I can the combination of a call and also a letter.
For the host.
So basically all this story is about is that President Trump doubled down on his assertions that his predecessor didn't call the families of fallen soldiers, citing the death of his chief of staff's son in Afghanistan. How tactless.
I'm only signing it because it costs nothing.
I forgot you. What do you mean? What? Huh? Is this Chapo from fucking Toes' Chapo? Toes Chapo, the guy that doesn't play any games with me but sits in my Discord? Anyway, carry on. You're good to read. Well, I shit talk this man. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
You sad because Toes is gone? He's out to TwitchCon, I think. Or will be going soon.
He's just gonna drive there in his.
No, he's not going to drive there in his fucking 18.
He's just like, I got a load going to California.
I think he tried to, though. I think he said he was going to try to talk to them and see if he could just drive, because then he could get his mileage and everything paid for.
Yeah, damn straight. It's like, you got anything that needs to go to California? I'll drive it all the way there.
Yep.
Non-stop, damn it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't have both chats pulled up. We're dual streaming to Mixer and Twitch, so it's kind of a hectic to deal with the chats because I can't have both tabs open, and I have like 2 pop-out chats open anyway.
Yes. No, I'm just saying that it's rather tactless that
Oh, yeah,
President
no,
Obama's
most
using his chief of staff's son's death as a talking point to say that President Obama didn't talk to his chief of staff.
Well, it wasn't only his President Trump, but he said all the other presidents. To be fair,
Yes, he did. But he's specifically calling out Obama because his chief of staff's son died.
that's also the
in
last person
2011.
that was in office. That's why he's calling him out. I think.
Well,
Then
also
he
because
has
he
this
doesn't
whole-
like Obama.
Yeah, he's at this whole Obama was the devil thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
To him, he is the school district, and I'm Obama, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is Memmer. Oh my god. Yes,
Yeah.
I remember. Memmer? No, stop it.
Yes, no. Speaking with Fox News, Trump again suggested that President Obama didn't call military families. He claimed that members of the Obama administration have refuted. He then referenced White House Chief of Staff John Kelly's son, Robert Michael Kelly, who was killed in Afghanistan in 2010 at the age of 29. And it's like Trump's like, now I don't want to get like a Trump voice. I don't know.
What does he say?
There's a little quote here. Okay.
Let's see if I can do this. Now, as far as other representatives, that's a little
No,
too southern.
That's very southern. That's like old school southern.
Yeah.
No, that's a bit more. That's too Kennedy.
And now it's yeah.
No, as far as other representatives are concerned, I don't know.
Sounds too Kenneth.
Yeah.
No. See, I throw it so I'm drawing it because like I'm trying to get like the weird pitch of his
Let's
voice.
listen to Trump for a second. Try.
Now, as far hold on. Now, as
Just
now,
roll the
as
video.
All right, folks. I
Is he gonna say anything?
This is
so this is
No,
so
no.
this is
promoting healthcare, choice,
And some of them, I assume, are good people. Now, as far as other representatives, I don't
promoting
know.
healthcare.
I mean, you could ask General Kelly if did he get a call from Obama. You could ask other people. I don't know what Obama's policy was. I write letters. I also call. That was kind of close.
Yeah, that's what.
I mean, I'm trying.
could-
It's difficult.
You could ask other people, but I don't know. I gotta fuck Obama. Wife ruins school lunches. Maybe I don't know.
What?
That's what he said. He said, "Fuck Obama's wife. She ruins school lunches." I don't think so.
I mean, well, Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, she did put a lot of initiatives through to improve the health of lunches in schools.
Yeah, I don't think she ruined school lunches.
She just made schools will have healthy lunches.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like schools still couldn't sell shit. I mean, our school sold fucking hot Cheetos covered in cheese and cookies and donuts and all kinds of
Well, that was
junk.
before Obama.
No, they're still selling them now.
Oh yeah. Well, that's because that's your.
They're
choice.
still selling egg rolls. and shit.
But that's
Yeah.
that's
But
your
that's the
choice.
snack. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's snack bars and stuff.
You know, the
But
main
not
lunch.
like the school supplies lunches. But they also like shit. Alright. So I saw some cool shit that the kids got to eat though. Like they had like multiple different choices and stuff, and then they
Yeah.
had some like cool shit. Now, don't get me wrong, I always loved Steak Finger Wednesdays. My bitch ass is eating that roll, that mashed potatoes and gravy and them steak
yeah.
fingers and gravy. Nobody fucked with Steak Finger Wednesday, alright? Everybody at our school loved Steak Finger Wednesday. Shit was great. If you didn't like Steak Fingers Wednesday, fuck you. Anyway. That's basically how I feel about that. But I mean, like everything else, you know, the burgers were they were so-so. I mean, I like the
the
burgers.
burgers
too.
were never good. In my opinion.
I like the burgers because all I did was take the little salad tray, I'd open the burger, get some ketchup, get some mustard, splatter it on there, throw the salad tray on top, just slap it all together and eat it. It was doable. But without the salad tray and without ketchup and mustard, it was meh. Then again, all I ate was fucking burgers at DAEP. That's all we got was sack burger lunches. And anytime you were in ISS, all you got was a sack burger lunch.
Yeah.
Always burger all the time. Which was, I never saw it as a problem because I like those burgers. So.
Yeah. But no, and
Yeah,
actually,
we
and
don't
I
give a
think,
shit.
and I think under Michelle Obama, they actually improved a lot of the funding for school lunches.
Yeah, that's probably why
So
our
that's
school
why
has free
we're
lunching.
providing free lunch and breakfast.
Yeah,
Because the
our
schools make money to do it.
schools have free breakfast, and I think they're trying to get a free lunch program.
They did, or I think they. I think
No,
they
because
did.
remember we were talking about they were
Yeah,
trying
Rick
to do
Johnson's
it, but
out.
I don't think they did yet. That and Miss Frost is fucking gone. He really just kind of ghosted and disappeared without saying anything to anybody, as far as I know.
Who?
Fawcett.
Oh, yeah.
He like just stopped going
Well,
to
I
work.
think Rick Johnson was the one carrying it through. Or was it Fawcett?
No, it was Fawcett. Because Fawcett's the one that told us all this stuff, remember?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
of
it's
course.
Fawcett who was
Of course, because Johnson can't hold a conversation.
Yes. Also, Johnson wouldn't know how to balance books if it slapped him over the head. Even though he's
He wouldn't
been
know.
a
He
finance
wouldn't know
guy
how to
for
balance
years.
books if you gave him
Oh
a
my
scale.
god! During the fucking board meeting, they're like, oh, so Henry Alfadapo was there. I wanted to say hi to him. Be like,
Who the fuck is who?
Henry Alfadapo? Remember the guy whose independent company who helped out do the audit? They finished the audit, and apparently the school district is fine. I wish they found stuff that was wrong. Henry Alfadapo, the African dude.
Oh yeah. I remember now. Yeah.
The dude who like was
Who did-
really hard to understand, and like basically this is what happened at the end of the conversation. Kenneth's like, "What did he say?" I'm like, "I think he needs access for stuff. I'll work on that." Basically, most of the time what happened because like he was super hard to understand, but it's like I get good gist of people do it. Just like Mr. You did the same thing to me when we went to talk to Mr. The one dude with the D. The dude who had the pen problem and stuff.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah, because he also had a super fucking
He was
thick-ass
super
accent.
African, yes. He had a super African
And I'm
accent.
like, what?
And we leave, and you're like, yes, yeah. And we leave. What did he say? He said he's having problems with his fucking pens not writing.
That could also be because I just wasn't paying attention.
Kenneth, I'd believe it more that you didn't understand them. I mean, shit. You drive by the same place every day, and you've missed a couple things. So remember, I pointed out when I drive, I'm like, hey, look, that's there. How long has that been there? Since our entire life? What do you mean?
It's not that bad.
It is. That's happened, I think, at least one time where that's happened. Like, Kenneth, that's been there our entire life. How have you never noticed that? Well, I don't go this way.
I don't.
That was one of the excuses, but yeah. Anyway, so there you go. You done reading this story?
No, I'm just going to read it more.
Okay.
So Obama's office declined to comment, but in May of 2011, the Obamas held a breakfast for Gold Star families who had lost soldiers overseas. A person familiar with the breakfast confirmed to the Times that Kelly and his wife sat with then First Lady Michelle Obama at the event. In the past, Kelly has avoided talking about his son's death, telling a Marine officer, introducing him in a speech to not mention it, and writing to the Washington Post that he did not want to draw too much attention to it. I can understand why. It's a very deeply, extremely personal tragedy that befell this family due to war. But clearly Trump, in his extremely tactless way, trying to use his employee's son's death for his own benefit is just
That is pretty bad.
Mm.
It's kind of like trying to be people's friends, stabbing them in the back.
I'll have more to talk about that after the show.
Oh, really? Did I bring up some things?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Moving on.
Moving on to different stories. I almost thought this said Roberts and Space Industries because I've been looking at stuff for fucking Star Citizen, which hopefully comes out soon. That hairstyle bugs me. Anybody that I see with that hairstyle instantly is a dick, I believe.
Roll the video.
Okay. It's like you're about to see how much of a dick he is.
After
hello?
it's gonna go after this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I just want to bathe in white privilege. The
So-
greatest, most awesome thing.
Let's
We're here
pause
to
this
talk
real
about
quick.
white.
So the man
Can-
right
is
here
that
is
a full
Richard
screen?
Spencer.
So, full screen?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think it's because this is an amp. Try deleting that amp in front of it, in front of the
White
URL.
privilege.
Why is it an amp?
I think because somebody was on a mobile phone when they saw this. Because amp is to make mobile better. Whatever.
It didn't work.
We'll just play it as is. But Richard Spencer's a notorious white supremacist and also highly reveres Trump and such.
Like, yeah, I
And,
just want to bathe
Yeah. No,
Hold on, let's comment.
in white privilege. The
I just
greatest,
wanna-
most awesome thing.
I just want to bathe in white.
I just want to bathe in white privilege.
Very
He's
nice,
telling you to-
awesome.
Is that a black man?
That is. Yeah. Probably. I don't see race.
Yeah,
I don't see color.
Nuggets, chicken nuggets, and peace. Hillary used Las Vegas shooting to attack guns. Of course she did. Everybody uses something for a political gain.
Yeah.
Everybody was attacking guns. Fuck you guys, you're never taking our guns. Woo! Anyway, so you good with the video?
Yeah, it's well.
I want to sit down for this, but I want more nothing. I want more drink.
We're here to talk about white privilege. We want to bring it back.
He seems to like that shitty
Bring
grid.
back white privilege. Look, it's like America belongs to.
I like those logos. It makes me sad. I don't like that weird circle
that
one.
weird line.
I like the bird one though. Bird one's pretty badass. I think I'm gonna steal that and use that, but that'd be a white supremacist.
Jack Donovan. You know, every other race engaged in mass murder.
Spoken like a what? What is it?
No, I said he spoke at A&M.
Oh yeah. Dude, it's the fucking. I told you, man. The sideways swept, jailed hair instantly means you're an asshole.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And slavery
I don't disagree.
And colonization. White people were just really, really damn good at it.
We're just damn good at killing people. Gosh dang, that's just battling them there. He's outside and now
Oh, so the dude got punched.
Yes, he is. Which does it same
Those
here.
people don't like me,
Are
to
you
be
like the
honest.
hipster version of the neo-Nazi movement?
It's Pepe's become kind of a symbol.
Oh, boom.
And that's such a weak ass punch.
That was.
What is wrong with diversity?
No, that was a jump punch. It wasn't like super weak.
It makes the world ugly. It makes the world lose all meaning. It's a way of bringing to an end a nation and a culture that was defined by white people.
Oh, pause this. So he was saying that diversity was an end to culture. He clearly doesn't understand what diversity means, because it means, diversity of culture. It means, oh, you can see, we have our American culture, and then there's also the European culture, the African culture, the, Asian culture. Diversity is all these cultures, existing together. Is not one overpowering the other.
Yeah.
It's a diversity of thought, diversity of opinion, diversity of language, idea. Diversity is powerful. And I'm not talking about this wishy-washy bullshit millennial ass version of diversity. We have to have 50% women, 50% men, 50% gay, black, transgender, disabled, etc. bullshit shit. No, I'm talking about proper, diversity where everybody can come to the table and be fairly represented. And the communication doesn't devolve into yelling and screaming and shit-flinging.
Although it does that anyway within each of our separate cultures in the first place.
Yes.
I mean, white people are pretty bad at doing that in the first place.
Yes.
So
Everybody
is
is.
everybody else. So
But I'm just saying,
people will never get away from that, though. To be honest, now doing that based on color is different. They might just do it because they're people. Because I don't know. The inherent actions of people are usually not that.
Well,
great.
it's the in-group, out-group mentality. You could see somebody. There's like that meme that comes up. There's like somebody picks up a flag on the ground, and it's like a blue flag, and another person sees a red flag, and they pick it up, and they're like, "I hate that person." It's the same thing.
That happens. That's part of human nature.
Well, yeah, no, because we always it's a part of evolution, because we always villainize the out-group as a means of protecting ourselves, because you identify yourself with a core group of people based upon something, and then anybody who's not that, you dislike because they go against what you know and what you feel safe in. The thing is that
My video games, my anime, all hail the weed supremes! Even though I don't really care too much.
yeah, part of that is
I'm
you
that
have to-
weird person that just I don't really apply that. I just like people that play games and everything. The only thing I will have to say that I don't really like was the super crappy people. That was about it. That's it. Everything else I don't care about.
Yeah,
But the super crappy people were always super negative to me. That's why I don't like them, because they were always
it's like, oh, we're better than you. So much.
well, not only that, but they're just you have problems. Yeah, and I don't know. That's how it was in high school all the time.
Yeah,
I was like, David, you don't really care about anything, do you? Because I was always sleeping. I wake up, Nope. And then I go back to sleep. I guess I really was that super emo kid in high school. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, you were. Always wearing...
Fuck you!
You were always wearing, like, hoodies in the middle of fucking summer.
I'd still wear hoodies all the time. I don't care. They're comfortable.
Always dressing in black.
I still always dress in black. None of that's changed.
Your cargo pants and your chain.
I still love my cargo pants and my chains. My cargo pants are useful. Have you seen me at work? As anybody who's seen me anywhere, my cargo pants, if I'm doing anything, usually filled to the brims with shit. But it's always useful shit.
Yeah. So, this guy's comments are so stupid.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. People like this, fundamentalists, they have no concept outside of themselves.
No. Not at all. The alt-right.
It was mostly peaceful. There's that quick out between the sentences and
Yep.
the police arrested him.
Which is proper.
No more
And they're both
attacks
fucking
on
a
our
white man.
On our identity. No more attacks on us as a people. But we are also here to say yes. Yes! This is who we are. Yes! We are going to occupy
What's wrong with those flags? Are those KKK flags?
I don't know.
That's a small military guy. I mean, I see these, like real old flags or whatever. What are these other flags? What the fuck is that flag mean? What the fuck does the white triangle thing mean?
No, I think that's a white X.
Is it an X? Dude, no, I think it's a triangle. See?
No,
It's
I
definitely
don't know.
triangle. Fuck does that
Are
mean? What
are
the
they-
fuck does half of this shit mean?
Are they protesters or is that...
No,
is-
that's where because there's a rebel flag guy. I don't
I don't
fucking
know. I don't know. I'm not a Nazi or a Nazi sympathizer or a white supremacist.
It's a triangle with a bunch of triangles in it. The only thing I think of is Illuminati.
Thank you for saying that.
Huh? What?
Anyways. So, yes. Protesters greeted white supremacist leader Richard Spencer with loud boos and chants of "Go home, Spencer" during his speech on
I'm sure that was a
Thursday
lot
afternoon.
worse said than that.
Yeah, probably. The talk was Spencer's first planned speech on a college campus since he and others participated in the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. With intense police presence, protesters chanted, "We don't want your Nazi hate. Nazi scum off our streets." The anti-Spencer protests, vastly outnumbered. Supporters carried signs against fascism, neo-Nazis, and white supremacy. Spencer took the stage at the Phillips Center at just after 2:45 p.m. Those in the venue, many of whom stood with their fists raised, loudly booed and chanted lines like "Go home, Spencer," and "Nazis are not welcomed here." "I'm not going home. I will stand here all day if I have to," a combative Spencer told the crowd. Still, the heckling continued throughout his time on stage, leading to several moments from a frustrated Spencer. Spencer is the president of the National Policy Institute, a leader of the alt-right movement, and proponent of the white nationalist movement that advocates for a white awakening and a white ethno-state. University and local officials were concerned that the event could become violent and took considerable steps to combat that. And even on Monday, Governor Rick Scott, who was a terrible person, declared a state of emergency at Alchuca County, where the university is located. Was it?
The guy that drove through the crowd in Charlottesville, if that's what you're talking about, he was the neo-Nazi. He was
a white supremacist.
He was a white supremacist, white nationalist, whatever you want to call it. We covered a story a couple weeks back.
When it happened,
When it happened, yeah.
Goddamn, I still remember the video, shoes flying at the people who got hit.
Yeah.
Damn.
What is with this picture? Why is it like at the weird fucking...
I think it's just, I don't know. Somebody
It's
in
a filter or
somebody in their
something.
graphics department was like, "Oh, that'll look cool."
Yeah. Like a weird old school screen filter or something, I don't know.
Yeah, just old waves. It's kind of annoying. It's very annoying.
Gives me AIDS.
It's kind of crazy that the governor declared a state of emergency for that county. It's kind of weird. He had to enable the state of emergency to enable the law enforcement agencies in the area to work together. It's just like, they should just work together already. There shouldn't need to be
work together better or something. I don't know.
It's just to work together more efficiently. But why should that be a problem? I guess it means like between state and federal and local, I suppose. Still. Anyways, Florida, University of Florida President W. Kent Fuchs denounced Spencer's white supremacist platform as abhorrent in a letter to students, but said the school could not stop him from renting the Phillips Center for the event. Fuchs told CNN there would be more police on campus than at any other time in the university's history. I can see that. There's just a line of brown shirts.
Brown. What can brown do for you? Are there state trooper cars like off white and black? Is that what that is?
Kind of looks like
That is definitely off white and black.
Yeah.
Still the same vehicles that our state troopers use for that. Is it? No, that's a Charger. Yeah. It's fucking off white. It's so weird. Like stupid yellowish off white. It's gross.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's always that old saying, that
What is this?
the best cure is, light. If you allow these people to speak and do nothing, ignore them, let their voices be heard in an empty chamber, and they'll never get anywhere. By coming out here in such force and demonstrating and bringing such publicity and such, you do nothing but, give media and coverage to these people, Because that's the thing, let people speak, let them say their idiocy so that it will be known that they're idiots.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. Is that
I mean,
is that
people can read what they say or just listen to what they say on their own and decide
scroll
for
down.
themselves.
You see them right there with that picture?
Mm-hmm.
In that picture, I think it'd be better if that picture was empty. If there was nobody there, nobody protesting, none of the cops needed to be there. He would just say his little spiel to his 20 white supremacist people, and that'd be it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion. I don't know. What do you think?
I think they should just be able to say whatever they want to say, and the other people should be able to protest. You guys should all be able to have
Well, of
fun.
course, I'm not saying they shouldn't be able to protest.
No, I'm just saying I believe in the super freedoms of everybody. You're all free to make whatever stupid fucking decisions you want. Welcome to America.
Yeah, there was a story, I don't think we're covering it. I was reading. Let's see. Yeah, we are covering it later on, but I'll just say it now and then we'll just skip it later. But basically, there was a poster that went around Cleveland State University that stated a bunch of statistics about the LGBT community. It tells them, so that it shows a person hanging, with a noose around their neck. It says 34% of trans people attempt suicide, 30% of suicides are LGBT related, over 40% of bisexual people consider suicide. And then at the bottom it says fascist solutions. Clearly, a rather, disturbing poster advocating for LGBT people to kill themselves. Clearly not something anybody would like to see in a proper society. And of course, lots of people were triggered by this and had a lot of issues with it, which is hard not to be. It's not hard to find an issue with this flyer for the message it attempts to advocate. I mean, the flyer itself is hateful. If the statistics it shows are true, there's nothing you can really do to fight statistics. Statistics are numbers and facts and evidence. What can you do? It's just more of what the message it's trying to advocate is despicable. And it was taken down not because of the message it attempted to place, but because it didn't go through the college's proper procedure of posting it. The college, like President said, that if it followed procedure, the poster would have been allowed up because it's free speech, which it is. As hateful as the message is and as distasteful as it is in what it attempts to advocate, It is free speech.
Where's that at?
It's
Something
it's,
else. Oh, it's what?
it's a later story. We're not going to cover it since I'm talking about it here.
Alright.
But yeah. I mean, I'm an advocate for free speech, and then a lot of people are protesting hate speech is not free speech. No, hate speech is free speech. Especially when
it's free speech.
Especially when
It's not supposed to incite violence.
Yes,
but,
as long as it doesn't incite violence.
but you can have hate speech that doesn't incite violence.
Yeah, I mean, I could just say
I
something
fucking
like,
hate you, Kenneth. That doesn't incite violence.
Nah, yes, but if I wanted to say everybody in the audience should kill this man here.
I mean,
That's
that is
inciting violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody. You are going to. Anyway.
Now, the poster isn't inciting violence. It's promoting, or rather, disturbing.
You should just squish those when they do that. Just murder.
I want on my screen.
That's why I have dead fucking slash marks on my screen from murdering so many bugs that just fly on my screen.
Do your screen.
I do. That's why they're all dirty as fuck. That's why there's you see this right here, that mark?
Yeah.
That's from a dead bug. They land on my screen and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, and a lot of the students were gathering together to protest this.
I had a fucking bug land in my honey mustard yesterday when I was eating a chicken. Shit pissed me off.
I don't know. I've been going. Yeah, I need to get more of that signature sauce. I really like it.
Have you been going to McDonald's a lot?
No, not recently. I went once this week.
I've been like twice or 3 times this week. But I've been getting sandwiches. You know, over there at the administration office, they have coupons. Buy one sandwich, get the other one free.
Yeah, I need to go get one of those.
Yeah, my sister gave me like a stack.
She just like yoink.
I guess so. They were there at the board meeting. She's like, and she gave them to me. I'm like, dude, I don't fucking go to McDonald's. And like, I've been using them, and I'm like, I'm wasting these on fucking like, because all I buy is a McDouble and a hot and spicy anytime I go. So it's still only like $4.20. Smoke weed every day. I thought it's a funny coincidence, but yeah. And so I'm using them for like to get like a $2 sandwich off, and like 25% of the proceeds of I'm assuming the not full price goes to it. It's only 25% of $2.50 goes to it, and I'm like, I'm contributing actually absolutely nothing.
Hey, you know, everybody else is as well, so yay.
But then I thought about it, I was like, well, if hundreds of people are coming to McDonald's and contributing like 2 cents, it eventually amounts to something useful.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
It's kind of weird. I noticed the mic bar was red.
What do you mean the mic bar was like? No.
Yeah, I don't get it. It was just red. I don't understand it. And then it went back to green. I've never seen it do that. I don't know either. I just noticed. I was like, that's weird.
Maybe like pick up on something super hard. I don't know.
Maybe. Anyways, so I just want to comment about that because it was kind of related. In about people.
So you want to
protesting
still
shit.
then move to the next story?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you know, it's just a white supremacist.
Hold on, I have to laugh at this picture real quick because it looks fun. Just he's wearing like fucking LG Tiffin Pros. It looks like.
Yeah, and he also has swastikas all over.
Oh, he does have sauce all over. It's just his face looks so funny. He's got like
Well,
a weird right angle shot.
Mid punch, yeah.
It doesn't even look like that was
And the
that
guy
good of a
behind him,
punch.
what the fuck is the guy behind him doing with that scrunched up face? It's like somebody just took this picture and just scrunched his face down. It's like because he has all of that forehead space. It's like that much forehead. Just did somebody?
God damn it, Kenneth, sometimes people just have really like small faces. You have
That much forehead.
Kenneth, you have a ton of forehead here.
Not that much.
I mean,
That guy has like a
so
fucking.
at least the rest of your face is evenly spaced out. But you have a large fucking forehead, my
I
friend.
can hide it with the hair. Let's go. Let's just.
I mean, I had my forehead with my emo flip side thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's just he looks. It doesn't even look like that hurt him too much, to be honest. I don't see any real damage.
There we go.
I would have to say. Look at the little like dude with a very thin mustache over there. Looks like Pedro.
And of course, there's a person back there with some kind of weird ass nose ring.
Yeah. I just find that funny.
And well, yeah. Just everybody in this picture just does not look good whatsoever.
No, it's just fun. I find it funny. Anyway, all right, carrying on. Geraldo and Hannity attack women for speaking out against Weinstein after the New York Times.
It's all about this video, so just roll the video.
All right, so roll the video. I don't even know what the hell went on. I don't even
But
know
the
the
situation
let's pause this and I'll give some context to this. So Harvey Weinstein is one of Hollywood's biggest producers. He's the owner and founder of the Weinstein Company. They are a production company for a lot of big Hollywood films. I mean, this is a man who's extremely tied in with Hollywood itself. He is a very large, well-known name. Basically, I mean, if you know him or are friends with him, you can get into pretty much anything. You know, if you have any relation whatsoever, you can do damn near anything. So part of what happened was that recently has come to light that Harvey Weinstein has a history of
sexual assault and stuff like that.
Sexual assault and I don't know if there's any cases of rape, but not like sexual assault. It's sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Of women, and women have come forward with different cases, a couple of them, and such. And
if the glove don't fit, you can't quit.
So I guess this is just a thing about them talking about the women.
Just beginning, I think that Dr. Gorka is right in the sense that there are few industries. I think that there is a problem. Sexual harassment exists through many industries. Now you're seeing Amazon being engulfed in scandal. But there are a few industries where the imbalance is so profound, where you have an 18, 20, 22-year-old girl. She's coming to one of these powerful Harvey Weinstein-type mogul, you know, with the big belly and the hairy chest and the gold and all the rest of it. She knows that she's got a very limited time. It's a very fragile window that she has to make it big in a highly competitive industry, where if she doesn't make it by 23, 25, you know, in the modeling industry, it's 23 skidoo. There is a great incentive on both parts.
You know the casting couch is
here?
true.
I've done it.
So, what Geraldo says, outside of his little comments about age and such in the modeling industry, I mean, he's pretty on point. You know, it's well known in Hollywood, everybody in Hollywood knows that there is all rampant amounts of sexual abuse and shit going on down in Hollywood. It's no secret. Everybody knows it. Nobody, you know, it's not like they have to hide it, but nobody says anything about it because they want to be in movies or on TV or, you know, in X, Y, and Z, so they don't say shit about it. You know, and then it happens to other people, and then nobody ever says shit, and then you have shit like this, where somebody finally starts talking out, and a bunch of people come forward. It's just like, what took you so long? You had 20-something years to come forward about this shit, and then you don't say anything, and then now, you know, it's decades down the line, and now you're all like, oh, I'm very rich and powerful and successful because I had to go through this, whatever, and now I'm with it because I'm from my position of power and authority. I can lay it down like I am such a moral, you know, authority. Yeah, no, at 20, 23, you're meeting somebody highly successful, highly influential, and it's scary, and you want to get in this person's good graces because you need them to get into this industry. I understand the power imbalance is through the roof, but if shit like this happen, you know, go to the police. You know, that's the thing. You don't go to the police because you want to get into Hollywood. You want to get into the movies. And this is...
In part, well, so some of the things is like you're basically talking about, some of that's your choice that you made. Basically.
Now, I'm not trying to blame the victim. You know, it's not like they were asking for it. But because they didn't go to the police and report it, this person was allowed to continue this behavior.
Yeah.
You know.
But, I don't know. Like... It's like one of my new quotes that just popped up in anime recently. Miracles aren't free. I'm like... So now when I got super deep the other day, I was talking to this girl about like my outlook on life, which goes super dark super quick. If anybody knows me knows my outlook on life is very dark. And I'm like, well, you know, as my favorite quote is, now, no miracles are free. Anytime I've ever been given anything really, you know, great in my life, bright hand or something, bad shit always follows it up. But that's just how it is. I accept it.
Exposés, it is absolutely true. But I would submit to you that the perpetrators defy all ideological boundaries. The right-wingers and the left-wingers, they do it, I think. All
right, and let me stand on Geraldo's point. All the coverage, the New York Times and NBC and CNN over any allegation at the Fox News channel, Dr. Gorka, or anywhere else, or any conservative, or any pastor or minister, they seem to love when ministers fail. They want to be perfect. They're not perfect. We're not perfect. But Hollywood...
So I know. So he's like talking about pastors and such, and anybody with impropriety. Now, as far as like the Republicans and such, I understand that a lot of these publications have a bent against Republicans in an attempt to display their improprieties. But with pastors, they don't get an excuse. Their entire shtick is being the moral arbiters and being above everybody and morally superior.
The moral high ground.
Yeah, so when they fall, you're damn well right. I want it to be shown off everywhere that it can be. Fuck them.
For real. I mean, and this happens a lot. A lot of these things, you know, people get sexually assaulted or whatever is like because they trust people, like, for instance, you know, whatever, however, because of they either trust them or they're trying to get somewhere and they're told to be quiet, stuff like that. I mean, there's plenty of reasons. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are just afraid. They get like death threats and all sorts of other things.
Yeah,
or a priest will say, "Well, God won't accept you if you don't accept me right now." You know, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I mean. And like these people, a lot of these people that have this stuff done to them are in a not so great state of mind, or they don't think about it, or they don't, you know, whatever.
Or they just think this is how it has to be. I mean, heck, this happens to men and women. Like Terry Crews came out and said he was sexually assaulted by some Hollywood something or another. And other male celebrities have come out saying the similar thing has happened to them. So it happens to both. I mean, obviously, most of course, probably happens to more women. But, you know, we have to acknowledge that this does happen, and it's a disturbing and unfortunate culture that has developed and stayed in Hollywood probably since its inception. And
I mean, I assume a lot of things go through Hollywood. I mean, porn industry is huge in Hollywood, as it is anywhere else. Any sort of film. Mm-hmm. Porn is film.
I mean, anything with a camera goes through Hollywood.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, carry on.
Hollywood knew. Everybody knew for decades about this guy. NBC News spiked the story, as did the New York Times, as sanctimonious as they are, Dr. Gorka. And then they're going to lecture about words, locker room talk, allegations that aren't proven, and this guy's admitting he's a pig.
Look at what they did to Vice President Pence and what they still do. One of the most outstanding moral men in America today, attacked for his traditional values. That's how upside down the world is. You're absolutely right. Everybody knew that this culture has been part of Hollywood for decades. They knew about Harvey Weinstein, which makes them facilitators. On the flip side, what do? They invent stories about the president. You've documented all of them. They generated this Russia collusion delusion for a year now with not one piece of evidence. But when somebody comes to them with a story about one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry, what happens? Not only one, but two media organs, leading media organs.
How many
NBC
people could have been saved?
It.
How many people could have not been victims?
Dozens.
Wait a minute. And these. All right, go ahead, Mr. Contrarian.
No, all I'm going to say is that the demonstrators came to Fox because they hated what was going on here. There will be no demonstrators in front of NBC.
Right.
And the New Yorker, which is being applauded now for running the Ronan Farrow piece, the New Yorker only ran that after the New York Times had already killed Weinstein. And all of the so-called courage of the people coming forward now, it takes no courage once the perpetrator is dead.
Especially the rich and successful, powerful Hollywood women.
So, like I said, you know, these women who are speaking out now are, you know, powerful, successful, wealthy women.
Yeah.
They're only speaking out now because they have that power. Because...
New at 11, a local woman could face arrest because...
She just doesn't belong in stupid crazy.
Because she cannot afford the funeral costs for her late husband. A funeral home storing the man's remains says it may press charges for abandonment of the body.
I just put local
Channel 2's Justin Wilfon is live in Marietta tonight. And Justin, the man is a veteran, and his wife is now very worried.
She says when her husband's body was brought here to this funeral home, Jovita, she made it clear that she couldn't pay for anything up front. But the funeral home tells a much different story, and that could land her in jail.
It's just unconscionable when you've lost somebody you love. Excuse me.
It's been nearly 2 weeks since Betty Starnes lost her husband. Now she's worried she could lose her freedom.
Oh, I went to pieces. I said, I'm going to jail, and I'm not a crook.
When her husband died on October 6th, she asked Southern Cremations and Funerals at Cheatham Hill in Marietta to pick up his body. It's been stored there ever since, awaiting cremation. Starnes tells me she can't afford to pay the nearly $1,000 bill. And unless she pays it by Friday or pays to move the body somewhere else, she says the owner of the funeral home is threatening to press charges for abandonment of a body.
He said, this is a felony offense. I said, I'm not a felon. I want my husband's body, but you won't let me have it. You won't work with me.
We went to the funeral home looking for the owner. He later sent me this statement saying, Mrs.
No, this is an older woman, probably on a fixed income, probably doesn't have, Social Security, probably doesn't have much or anything in savings. You would think a funeral home might see the situation and work with them, you develop some kind of payment plan or something. Break it up into 4 payments of $250.
Mm-hmm.
Something to help make it easier for her and make it for them and save them, some political hassle. So it doesn't put them in this terrible light and situation that they put themselves in.
Yeah, but if a lot of people just weren't dicks, then we would have a lot less stories about dicks in the world.
Starnes understood that
if a lot of people
required prior
let me backpedal on a second. If a lot of people weren't dicks in the world, we wouldn't have as many problems.
Yeah.
We have not received payment for any of our services. But Starnes tells me she was confused when she signed this contract and would be willing to set up a payment plan. But the funeral home's owner says payment in full before cremation is customary in the industry.
I said, we don't have cash up front. You people knew that coming in.
Her husband was a military veteran, wounded in Vietnam. After serving his country, she hopes someone will now help him and keep her out of jail.
Somebody will find it in their heart to help.
And the funeral home also told me tonight that Mrs. Starnes has been notified about other resources to help her pay, but Mrs. Starnes says she has exhausted all of those options and no one can help. Reporting live in Cobb County.
But I'm sure once this gets out, probably some GoFundMe will be made and people will donate money.
Yep.
And probably well over the $1,000 she needs. And she'll be taken care of, which is good. The people coming together to help. That's good.
This is fun.
Mm-hmm. Is your story?
I think it's yours. I just covered the fucking whatever supremacist one or whatever the fuck.
Okay. California declares state of emergency to fight hepatitis A outbreak. Yeah, this is crazy. It's happening right now, and it's insane. Just major outbreak of Hep A.
Maybe it's good that I didn't go to TwitchCon. But then again, to get Hep A, doesn't somebody have to fucking slice their fucking arm open and bleed on you, basically?
I don't know.
I think hepatitis is all through blood or saliva or some bodily fluid.
Normally it's just bodily fluids, which means you can only get it through sexual intercourse and such.
Yeah, that's where you get it a lot.
Yeah.
But I said, barring somebody fucking slicing their arm open, just fleeing blood, and a bunch of people. Yeah,
So, let's see. So, California Governor Jerry Brown, or Moonbeam, as people in California call him.
Why Moonbeam?
Because he was the governor in the 70s, and of course, 70s. So, hippie. And now he's governor, and now he's actually fucking things over. Like, I mean, we covered that, or did we cover that story last week? How California, got rid of requirements stating that if you knowingly transmit HIV/AIDS to a person, that it's no longer a felony. I didn't cover that story.
We didn't cover that.
We didn't. That was a big story in California. Yeah, but no. Governor Moonbeam, I'm just going to call him that, signed a bill last week stating that if you knowingly transmit HIV or AIDS, it is no longer a felony. It's actually no longer a crime. Which is insane. The criminal penalties in there, and they said they got rid of it to destigmatize HIV/AIDS. But no, it's not there to stigmatize HIV/AIDS. It's to penalize people who knowingly have it and transmit it to a person that does not know. It is very clear. If you don't know you have HIV and you transmit it, there's not much you can do. You don't know. You can't know something you don't know. But if you know you have it and you intentionally transmit it, fuck you for fucking up that person's life and everybody they have to interact with for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
Fuck you to the deepest pits.
Mm-hmm.
And he signed a bill allowing it to no longer be criminalized. He's a fucking idiot. Anyways, on Friday declared a state of emergency to combat the Hep A outbreak that has claimed 18 lives so far in San Diego. Brown said the federally funded supply of vaccines is inadequate. His proclamation allows the state to buy vaccines directly from manufacturers and distribute them. The declaration allows us to move very swiftly, says Dr. Gil Chavez, epidemiologist for the California Department of Public Health, told the reporters. He said the state would place an order Monday or Tuesday and supplies would reach the state soon after. California distributed 81,000 federally funded vaccine doses since the outbreak began, and local jurisdictions have acquired more, but the supply is insufficient, Chavez said. California is experiencing the largest Hep A outbreak in the United States transmitted from person to person and set up by contaminated food since the vaccine became available in 1996. The state said the majority affected are homeless, using drugs, or both. Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess homeless people, or people using drugs, or homeless people using drugs. Yeah. There have been 576 cases throughout California, including 490 in San Diego County, 71 in Santa Cruz County, and 8 in Los Angeles County. Out of those, 386 people have been hospitalized, including 342 in San Diego, 33 in Santa Cruz, and 6 in LA. No other deaths have been reported outside of San Diego County. Yeah, hundreds of people just sprang up suddenly and being affected. Shit, what the hell happened? I'm assuming they'll find out eventually how this outbreak occurred, but I'd be interested to learn how this virus outbreak happened.
Somebody with Hep A was sharing needles somewhere.
Apparently a lot of needles. Everywhere.
Ejaculating into a batch of needles. I don't know.
Just a pile of needles.
Yeah.
Just.
I'm telling you, just like slit your wrist or something, just fling your blood everywhere.
Actually, did this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it this way. I know it's this way.
I mean, do that way. That way you die, and also you'll get an arterial spray. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't self-harm, kids. We're not advocating self-harm whatsoever.
Yeah.
He said the outbreak brought the statewide total to 3 times the number of reported cases.
Hey Dakota, is Highcat going yet? Anyway, carry on. I was just asking this all in the chat.
The CDC said San Diego officials in May have said it assigned officials to San Diego in May for 5 weeks to help identify how the infection spread and prevent additional cases. San Diego County reported the outbreak in March as it grapples with a growing homeless population. First cases were traced back to November.
AKA
Interesting.
homeless.
Yeah, so homeless.
Bodily fluids. Any sort of bodily fluids. Feces. Good.
Yeah.
Anything that makes contact with your salivatory glands, which there's tons of those all over your body usually. Your eyes, your nose, your mouth, any of your basically orifices. What else here? A lot of bad shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the... have you ever seen 28 Weeks, 28 Days Later, any of those movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. It was all in the saliva.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Just a brief update to story. It's down. That chemist says Kim had 1.4 times lethal dose.
This one?
Yeah. I'm just going to cover this really briefly. So basically it says right here, so as we covered a few weeks ago, there was a theory going around that Kim Jong-un had killed his estranged half-brother who was living in Malaysia or Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of rumors that nerve agent was used. And as it comes in this report right now, the nerve agent, the VX nerve agent, was on his face after he was attacked in a Malaysian airport. A government chemist tested 1.4 times the lethal dosage. It was found on Kim Jong-nam's face, in his eye, and in his blood plasma, said Raja Subramanian, who heads the Center of Chemical Weapons Analysis Laboratory, said the murder trial of 2 women accused of smearing the chemical weapon on Kim in a brazen assassination in February.
VX is very bad, by the way. VX is chemical weaponized nerve gas.
Insanely
I think it's
dangerous.
Against the fucking Geneva Convention and everything. It's illegal to produce, illegal to have, illegal to anything from anybody.
Yeah. I mean,
super bad.
I mean, look at
VX is super bad.
Yeah.
It takes like none to kill you.
Yeah. It said, so it says the lethal dosage is 0.042 milligrams per kilogram.
Exactly what I said.
So for a person, I don't know, Kim Jong.
People are usually like 100 kilos or whatever. I think, right? No.
Yeah, probably.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Kilos.
So I mean that's a couple grams.
Yeah.
Of this stuff would kill him. Grams. That's next to nothing.
Yep.
A couple paper clips in your hand, small ones. There you go. That's what it took to kill him. He said he estimated the concentration of Kim's facial skin was 0.2 milligrams per kilogram. That's quite a lot. He acknowledged that more poison might be needed to kill a heavier person. Of course, the VX nerve agent was also found on the collar and sleeves of Kim's blazer, probably because he wiped his face on the blazer after the attack. One of the defendants was from Vietnam, the other one from Indonesia, and they both pleaded not guilty at the start of trial. Murder charges that carry a mandatory death sentence if they are convicted. The women were duped by suspected North Korean agents into believing they were playing a harmless prank for a hidden camera TV show. Under cross-examination, Raj said it was impossible to use that the VX used to kill him was a binary concoction of 2 non-fatal elements because high-temperature would have been required to create VX. He agreed with the defense's assertion that VX could have been smuggled into Malaysia, or a non-fatal compound could have been smuggled into Malaysia and mixed with sulfur to create a VX in a clandestine laboratory. So that's pretty damn interesting. So apparently they have security footage, and it shows that the person is being rough with Kim, as if she was attacking him. Apparently the police officer was saying to her that the actions were quite aggressive and then retreated in haste. That's the thing. Clearly, clearly these people are lying.
Yeah.
Based upon, I guess, the security footage and these police officers' viewings. Because if it's like a harmless like prank show kind of thing, like you have a handful of power, you throw it at a person, you kind of like laugh or something, or kind of thing, jovial.
Sure.
I don't know. Prank shows have kind of disappeared.
Not really. They still exist. They're just still as dumb. I don't watch TV.
I don't watch prank shows.
I don't watch prank shows either.
Yeah.
I just see shit online.
So that's pretty damn interesting.
There's the thing right there. VX is banned by an international treaty as a weapon of mass destruction, but is believed to be part of North Korea's chemical weapons arsenal.
And that's all but been confirmed now.
Everything that I said. I don't know a lot of information, but I know a lot of useless things about weapons of mass destruction and some stupid Geneva Convention rules and things of that nature. Only because war is interesting to me. War never changes. Anyway. Towering... Is this my story now, I guess? Okay. Towering cross-state monument on public land is unconstitutional, court rules. Woo! This is a good start to a fun year. Good start to the end of a fun year. Whatever. Yeah. Also, Dakota. Whatever. That sucks. I'm sorry. But thanks for coming and sticking around. You're going to have to go to bed eventually anyway. No, I said Highkick's still not on. He's been gone all day.
He's committed seppuku.
He's committed Sudoku. Death by numbers. Anyway, the Federal Appeals Court Wednesday declared unconstitutional a towering cross-shaped monument that has marked a major intersection in Prince George's County for 90 years. In a 2-1 ruling, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit said the 40-foot-tall memorial maintained with thousands of dollars in public funds has the primary effect of endorsing religion and excessively entangles the government and religion. Boom shakalaka. Finally, some point at which there's a separation of church and state. I fucking applaud you. The ruling by the 3-judge panel does not mean the monument must be immediately removed from public land. Supporters of the memorial, known as Peace Cross, said the decision sets a dangerous precedent. You're damn right it does. And vowed to appeal to the Supreme Court. Oh, are they gonna?
I wonder if eventually this will lead to getting God We Trust off the money.
That's a good point.
I mean, this is amongst one of the starts of it. If they are straight up declaring that by having this it's an implicit choosing of a religion in a secular nation.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's more of the money goes to this. I mean, In God We Trust has been on our money for a while, but it's because to fight the communism.
Yeah, it's only been on here since the 50s. This country's been around
a while
for quite a lot longer than that.
It's only been around for 100 more years than that, or
150 more years.
Yeah, 150 is what I meant.
So I mean, for the majority of our country's existence, it hasn't been on there.
I'm saying 50 years. It's been there for the past 60.
This thing's been on there since 1925.
That's a good point too. Yeah. Anyway. The question for the Fourth Circuit was whether the cross, which stands at Maryland Route 450 and U.S. Route 1 in Bladensburg, is a memorial to local men lost in World War I or an unconstitutional government endorsement of religion that should be removed from public land. Built in 1925 with funding from local families and the American Legion, the marble and cement cross honors 49 Prince George's County's men who died in the war. On the base are the words valor, endurance, courage, and devotion. A bronze label lists the names of the men and includes a quote from President Woodrow Wilson. The monument is part of a larger memorial park in the immediate area honoring veterans of several wars. Well, from what this little paragraph says, it should honestly stand because it's a monument, even if it's a cross.
But that's the thing; it is a cross, and the cross is a particular denotion of a religion.
But
I mean,
it's still honoring somebody's stuff. Anyway, even with the non-religious elements, the court said Wednesday, the sectarian elements easily overwhelm the secular ones, making it an unconstitutional violation of the First Amendment that prevents the government from favoring a particular religion. Which I suppose is true, but there's a lot of crosses in a lot of places and a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, and this will lead to getting rid of them off public land.
Nice. The cross is by far the most prominent monument in the area, conspicuously displayed at a busy intersection, wrote Judge Stephanie D. Thacker. who was joined by Judge James A. Wynn Jr. in the opinion Wednesday by the appeals court located in Richmond. Chief Judge Roger L. Gregory dissented, writing, "The First Amendment does not require the government to purge from the public sphere any reference to religion. The ruling comes as a public display of religion have been challenged in courts throughout the country. The Supreme Court has not given clear guidance allowing some monuments with religious content to stand while rejecting others on public sites. The Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, a state agency, owns the land and monument, has spent about $117,000 to maintain and repair the cross, in addition to setting aside $100,000 for renovations. Gregory wrote the majority ignores certain elements of the memorial and confuses maintenance of a highway median and monument in a state park with excessive religious entanglement. In his dissent, Gregory said it was significant that the monument had been public property for 50 years without a constitutional challenge. The act disputed the importance of the lengthy period of time. Perhaps the longer a violation persists, the greater the affront to those offended. In closing, Gregory quoted the words on the memorial honoring veterans. "I cannot agree that a monument so conceived and dedicated that bears such witness violates the letter of spirit of the very Constitution these heroes died to defend." So I still agree. I agree with this specific statute.
The nation is a secular nation. Part of that First Amendment is to not, endorse or endorse a religion. The cross is a very particular image of a religion.
There's multiple crosses in other religions too. It's not just Christianity, but what I'm saying is the cross is used in a lot of things that symbol death and some other things.
Well, no, it's tied in closely with the Christian religion.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
But still,
the cross is tied in closely with the Christian religion.
It's still a monument that.
If this was just like a bronze statue of a soldier or something, nobody would give a shit. It's because it is a cross. I can only say that personally for me, I would leave it alone and not care because it says what it says on it. It honors those. It doesn't say anything overtly religious other than the fact that it is a cross. To me, a cross has no meaning, so therefore there is a clear meaning in a cross.
Not to me.
It doesn't matter what it means to you. It matters what it means to these federal judges.
Why does it matter to what it means to anybody else then?
No. Your opinion just doesn't matter because you have no power. You are nothing in the system.
So?
These are federal judges. And it's their responsibility and job duty to interpret these kind of things as it is in the Constitution.
Oh, yeah, I know. But I'm saying, the people that brought it up in the first place, it's still, I don't know.
Anyways.
I would agree more if this was a supposed monument for these things, and then it said, it was just a bunch of fucking Godspeak on it or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's something I could easily agree with. But something like this, I don't know.
Like town hall, like cities just opening up their town square to just all kinds of displays.
Yeah, so just a fucking
manger.
An actual. Well, the manger thing is okay to some people celebrate, but the people can also celebrate their Jewish things. If the town square can have a fucking manger, or if people, churches in our town, just a couple churches have mangers. Those churches
but their church is private land. It's the public land that is the issue because it's you have to allow everything.
No, all we
put
nothing. Is Christmas trees up.
Which is fine. Christmas trees don't have...
Not necessarily. Christmas trees are mainly Christian. Because you gotta get the stupid Hanukkah candles. You gotta get the fucking...
Christmas trees don't have a particular religious connotation. Besides anything, they come from fucking Saturnalia and the goddamn Romans.
Do you know where the...
That's the history.
Do you know where crosses originally come from then?
I'm not quite familiar.
I believe it is also... was it Roman? Because I think Jesus was still around during the Roman era.
Well, it was the Romans who persecuted him if he existed.
Yeah, I believe it was the Romans who persecuted him. So yeah, it still comes from them. It all comes from them. But it all comes from...
It's all the Romans.
Yeah. What else? There was something else besides
the whole gift-giving thing came from Saturnalia as well.
What did?
Gift-giving? In Christmas time? It came from Saturnalia because it was the winter solstice celebration.
And then also
and the candles and the lighting on the trees. That was a part of that as well. All of Christmas came from Saturnalia. Yeah. Everything we do came from that.
Yeah.
And then it's been co-opted by Christianity. for its own ends. But nobody today who celebrates Christmas celebrates it for Christianity. Everybody it's all about gift giving and family togetherness and all that shit.
I can't say that because there's a lot of the hardcore Christians that go to fucking church.
But I mean, there's plenty of Jewish people who celebrate Christmas.
But they're supposed to be spinning the drink. I don't know if they
probably do both.
No,
they probably celebrate Hanukkah and Christmas.
No, because they only celebrate Hanukkah because it's like fucking 14 days of giving gold to themselves. It's 7 days of counting schmeckles. And maybe because Hanukkah's like a week before Christmas, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think it's either the week before Christmas or it's the week of Christmas.
I don't know.
Because it's a fucking week long.
You know, fuck it, Kwanzaa.
There you go, fucking Kwanzaa.
That made up holiday that came up in about the 60s, I believe.
I don't know. Isn't it Rastafarian or something?
Yeah, but I think it only came to light in like the 60s, 70s. Like before then, like nobody heard of Kwanzaa. I think it's actually relatively new.
It probably wasn't relatively new. It's just new in the States.
No. I'm fairly sure it's like relatively new. Like it was invented in like the 60s, 70s, I believe.
I need to buy Kenneth a dreidel to go with his
dreidel. Oh,
spin the dreidel. What did you get? I don't know. Some bullshit symbol. I don't even know what it means. I think that means Drake. Oh. Anyway. Hold on, this name though. Kelly Shackelford.
Rusty Shackelford, what?
Rusty Shackelford's wife, yes. President of First Liberty Institute, a non-profit that helped the American Legion defend the cross, called the court's decision an outrageous ruling that sets a dangerous precedent and threatens the removal of memorials across the country. Which is probably true, because I'm sure there's a lot more cross memorials and stuff. Shackelford said the Religious Freedom Organization would take the case to the Supreme Court. We're certainly not going to stop here, he said. If this is the law, everything else is in danger. In response to concerns about the impact on the other memorials, the Fourth Circuit opinion noted, for instance, the crosses at Arlington National Cemetery are smaller and displayed among religious symbols of many religions, both on headstones and monuments. See, that makes sense too. And it only includes a photo of headstones from a cemetery.
That's the thing. At Arlington National Cemetery, I imagine they probably ask the family, you know, what's your religion or the soldier's religion, and they place a symbol of their applicable religion. And that's fine because it's they're all being represented, and it's not like it's being imposed upon them. You know, you're not seeing, you know, a Muslim with a cross in it, or you know, some Jewish person with, you know, a Muslim symbol of Allah or something.
What is the symbol of? What is the Muslim symbol?
Crescent moon and a star.
Oh yeah, that is right. That is what it is, because that's the symbol on like the Kyrgyzstani flag. No. on some of those flags and stuff. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, the initial challenge in Maryland was brought by the American Humanist Association, a Washington-based group that represents atheists and others. The group did not dispute the monument as a memorial, so say that's what I was assuming. They didn't dispute that, but said in court that a giant cross on government property sends a message of exclusion and violence for respect. Yeah, but that I can agree to. So as long as they said that, then yeah. Because I mean, still memorial. That's the only thing. The only problem is that it is a giant fucking cross in the middle of a fucking intersection, which I can agree with. A district court judge in 2015 declined to order the cross removed from public land, saying it is a historically significant secular war memorial and that the government agency had a non-religious reason for maintaining it. In response to the Fourth Circuit ruling on Wednesday, the Humanist Association's executive director, Roy Speckert, said government war memorials should respect all veterans, not just one from a religious group. Sure. And I don't care anymore.
Yeah, that's enough.
Did you just tell me when it's enough? I'll tell you when it's enough, America.
Let's roll the video, and I'll read the next story.
For giving a convicted rapist joint legal custody
let's
of his
pause
victim's
this here so I can
8-year-old
explain
son.
back the context.
Why do you have me play it for me to pause it instantly? The fuck is wrong with you?
So just
roll the video, pause the video, roll pause, and then while I'm like playing the video, you just like continue talking over here in the background as if people can hear you. I think the video's like louder than you are by a lot.
I guess we'll have to see that in post.
I think it's what I've noticed. I know my settings. That's how my settings are.
Anyways, no, just to give some context to this. So,
I'm gonna go give it another shot.
Okay.
Oh shit.
God damn it.
I'm gonna actually break the table almost.
Yeah. So earlier this week, a news story came out about a Michigan judge who gave a rapist visitation rights to see the child that was conceived of them raping a person. This is after this has been I believe many years later. The woman in question who was